week ago, a horrible crash in the Columbia Cup Finals stopped High Points leader Miss Budweiser's 4-event win streak. Driver Dave Villwalk is out for the season. Replacing him in the cockpit, sophomore driver Mark Webber, charged with picking up and moving ahead on the second of a grueling 3-week Northwest swing. From British Columbia, the Molson Drive Thunderfest. Beautiful British Columbia. They might have been in the resort town of Kelowna when that phrase was coined, but Okanagan Lake has been formidable on the Jasper Unlimited Thunder Tour, the site of today's Molson Drive Thunderfest. The Budweiser team, which had such difficulty last week, finds itself with hard times again here in Kelowna. On the first test run on Lake Okanagan, the Bud threw a prop, knocked a big hole in the transom, and it took all day and all night to fix it, so the Bud wasn't able to run and qualify until today, race day. The driver, Mark Webber, was a rookie in the Unlimited just a year ago, and he has not had a chance to get much time behind the wheel of the Bud.
Ronnie and Bernie have made it very clear that until I'm comfortable, I'm to drive the boat the way I want to and just get in and out of heat, stay out of trouble, and get heat points, not necessarily heat wins. Mark Webber will be all right. I don't want to be a little more aggressive than that, but as long as it feels good to me, we're going to go for it.
Well, Mark Webber's job is to maintain the O'Doul's High Points lead for the Budweiser team. The other teams on the beach see the misfortunes here as an opportunity. Let's get more about that from my partner, three-time national driving champ, Tom Deep.
John, this might be the most level playing field we had on the Unlimited circuit all year long. And the fellow that has the most to gain is Mark Tate, who qualified #1 at 148 miles an hour. This could be the close call team's best shot at a final heat win if the problems they've had all season don't resurface. Defending champion Pico American Dream, driven by Mark Evans, arrived late but still qualified second at 145 miles an hour. But like we saw last year, Lake Okanagan is notorious for very high winds and rough water, and the team that has their boat set up for those conditions could very well win this race.
Here are the O'Doul's High Points coming into Kelowna. Budweiser, of course, the big lead, but close call. Pico American Dream and DeWalt Tools hoping to take advantage and move on up this week. As for Dave Villwalk, he has lost a couple of fingers because of the incident last week. Let's find out more about that from Budweiser owner Bernie Little.
Dave's in great spirits. They got the infection cleared up in his hand. To the best of their knowledge, University of Washington got involved and made special antibiotics to do that. And if everything goes right, maybe they'll be able to graft some skin on his hand today or tomorrow. And but Dave will not, he'll not be able to drive this year.
And, of course, our best today, Villwalk. Our thoughts are with them, but we are getting set for Heat 1A in Kelowna, and here is the lineup. Close call and truck gear, the Woomer teammates in the two inside lanes. There is Mark Tate driving the close call, and teammate Nate Brown looking for the green flag, and here it is.
Great start by Stephen David in the Gargoyles Nitro. He's leading the field down into the first turn.
From the Labatt Eye in the sky, Mark Tate holding the inside, but Nate Brown giving him a run there in lane 2 in the truck gear. Close call has had a tough first half of the season. Now here is Nate Brown giving him a run. Is that really a doable thing over the course of several laps?
Well, they've got that boat running a lot better, and they're close to home, so his adrenaline is pumped up, but close call should win this race.
It should, but that's why they race them, and they're still very tight as they come around the turn on the left end of the course. Wide for truck gear, fairly tight for close call. What about the wind conditions here? That seems to be key.
Well, it was key last year, but this year the conditions are ideal, better than expected. Very light wind, and water conditions are pretty good.
So tough last year, the final was blown off, but this year we're going to keep our fingers crossed. There's Stephen David driving the Gargoyles. Once again around the turn into the backstretch for the close call in this 3-lap race. Zodiac showing us 134 miles an hour, the average speed for Mark Tate, and truck gear trailing at 128 miles an hour. Now it looks as if we're starting to follow form as Mark Tate opens up the lead. Here is Mitch Evans driving the Packet Engines presents Appian Jeronimo.
Mark's got this race well under control right now, rounding the 3-4 corner. The boat ride is beautiful. I'm sure he's very confident in the cockpit.
It would be a very much-needed good start for the Steve Boomer team as truckgear follows along in second place for him with Nate Brown at the controls. Tate coming into that last lap. Stephen David, 128 miles an hour on the Zodiac lap timer in the Gargoyles Nitro. Steve has opened up some distance now on Mitch Evans in the Appian Jeronimo and has third place. Let's see if Mark Tate can finish it out smoothly in the close call and take the first heat of the day here in Kelowna. Oh, he looks very, very strong. Once more around that final turn here on Okanagan Lake. Oh, a little light there.
The boat caught a roller and just really got upset. Got up on the right sponson, but came down right side up, no problem.
And again, Mark Tate showing his skill, got it right back under control and heading for the checkered flag. He's got it. Heat 1A goes to the Steve Boomer boat. Mark Tate in close call. Miss Truckgear with Nate Brown will take second. Stephen David driving the Gargoyles Nitro takes third. And here are the first preliminary results from Heat 1A. They finished as they started in terms of playing the Spirit of Lake Chelan, the piston boat, coming in fifth.
Close call, team. What about the water conditions out there?
Well, the water doesn't lay down, and the more you run, the sloppier it gets, and the corners are just unbelievable. Just getting set off left and right out there, but everyone's got to run it.
Rollers coming from every direction?
Yeah, that's what it is. The water's just real soupy, and rollers coming from every direction, and you'll hit one and it'll kick the boat this way, and the next time it'll kick you the other way. But we had a good boat under us there. I think we'll make some changes for the next heat with the close call boat and see if we can perform a little better.
Everybody does have to run it. The next group will be Heat 1B, and as we check the starting lineup, Pico American Dream has the inside. The trailer boat, Miss Molson Drive, with rookie John Watkins, has got a local flavor to it. An awful lot of people involved. Bill Wooster's getting a lot of extra help with the Molson Dry here in Kelowna this weekend. About half the guys working on the boat are members of the Kelowna Unlimited Hydroplane Association, and they are learning while they work because they're building their own boat. The chairman of the movement is Jay Logie. Jay, how long has it been since a boat out of Canada has run with the Unlimiteds?
Canada hasn't had a team flying its colors for 35 years now, so it's about time we did.
How soon do you plan to have this boat ready? How much racing next season?
The boat's in progress right now. We're tooling up still, but the boat's moving along well. We're looking at unveiling our boat in November of this year and start testing by the new year, and we're looking to run the whole season next year.
Got a name for it?
No name for the boat yet, but there's a lot of good ones out there.
So far it is the Miss Top Secret. We know this much. The plan is next year to run the whole season flying the Maple Leaf. That's next season. This is now as Mark Evans tries for a second consecutive championship after winning last week in Tri-Cities. Here in 1B, he's got the inside and the green flag. And Mark Webber trying to take his first win in the Budweiser off to a good start.
He's leading him going into the first turn, but he's in lane 3 quite wide. The Pico on the inside has a definite advantage now coming off the first turn.
Long way to go around for Webber and also Michael Hansen in lane 2 trailing Pico with Mark Evans. This is a 2-mile oval course. We're on board with Mark Webber.
You can see Mark's running a little bit conservative. He's got the canard wing dialed in the downforce position, holding the Budweiser tight to the water.
Michael Hansen is trying to give Mark Evans a good run, staying very close in the DeWalt Tools out of Madison, Indiana, but very strong in the turns is Mark Evans, as we see from the Labatt Eye in the sky.
You saw how the Pico made that corner, was right on the buoy line, nice low line on the racetrack, and just running beautiful.
Budweiser running strong in third place. Webber has told us he doesn't plan to give it full bore right away necessarily. He's going to try to be somewhat careful.
DeWalt's got a lot of top end, but boy, he barrels down into that rough water in turn 1 and has to get out of the throttle.
Anybody who thinks Michael Hansen is going to back off Mark Evans apparently is mistaken. Evans is going to have to give it everything to win this one. Look at that race between DeWalt in lane 2 and Pico in lane 1. Sponson to sponson, nose to nose.
The top end on the DeWalt is showing, but Pico on the inside is pulling up a little bit in the corners.
Around the turn now, and Evans has got it tight to the buoys. DeWalt goes way wide here. This could be the break that Mark Evans has been looking for. The Zodiac lap time showing 136 miles an hour average for the DeWalt tools. Pico now has jumped out to a lead, but again, Michael Hansen is trying to storm back.
Budweiser in third place. We're on board now with Mark Webber in the Miss Budweiser, and there's the canard wing right in front of the cockpit. Mark controls that with his left foot, keeps the boat on the water.
And the Pico at 141 miles an hour, the big lead. We've had the first controversy over the N2. The Fred Leland team steel boat last week, penalized, lost points for exceeding the percentage of revs.
Well, what that is they have a recorder on board all the unlimited hydroplanes, and if you exceed the RPM limiter, UHR officials know about it, and you get fined and penalized.
It's meant to be a safety thing. Steele is not here this week. There was a question as to whether Pico would come. Pico is here, and Pico is about to win this heat. DeWalt Tools taking second place with Michael Hansen right behind. Here is the checkered flag for Mark Evans. Right behind him, Hansen gave him a run all the way around. And third place will go to Mark Webber in the Budweiser in his initial heat as the driver. So, the Fruit of the Loom results showing Pico American Dream picking up 400, Miss Exide in fifth with 127 points in this heat 1B. And the U8 Molson Dry, a little bit of unburnt fuel. Let's go down to the dock and talk with Mark Evans.
Real tight battle with the DeWalt.
Man, with this N2 thing, we're worried about, you know, trying to get the boat to stay under the 110%, and it made it for a good run for DeWalt. He had me nervous. I told Kenny, man, we got to go, we got to go.
He was right there the whole time.
Oh, perfect. I like racing against Mike Hansen. It just makes for some good racing. DeWalt guys did good. Pico's winner. All right.
So, Heat 1 is kissed goodbye, but there's much more racing to come from Kelowna. Stay with us. Welcome back to Kelowna, British Columbia for the Molson Dry Thunderfest. A heck of a run by Michael Hansen in Heat 1B. He's with Tom down at the docks.
Great side-by-side battle with the Pico, but I think if you had lane choice, you'd like lane 1.
Yeah, that's the advantage right now, but actually we're having a little bit of problem holding our lane through the turn. It's real lumpy down there. We opted to go for a little bit smaller skid fin we generally do, and it just unhooks on us. If I could have held a truer lane 2 on the second and third lap, I think we might have got him.
Going to change the skid fin for the next heat?
Yeah, we're looking at how much time we got available before the next heat, and yeah, we're definitely going to make that change sometime before the day's over.
Don't expect too much time, Michael. You're coming right up, but the skid fin just happens to be the subject of Professor Dietz' Pico Performance Corner.
One of the most important pieces of equipment on unlimited hydroplane is the outside skid fin. The skid fin is totally adjustable both up and down and can be tilted inward or outward depending on the race course condition. If the driver is on a tight race course, he'd want the fin deeper and tilted in, and if he's on a wider race course, he would want the fin more straight and probably brought up a little bit. You can also adjust the fin backwards and forward depending on the center of gravity of the boat. It's made out of heat-treated steel, very thin, but remains in contact with the water at all times.
Getting set now for the start of Heat 2A. The boats that finished lowest in the first heat get to choose first, so the inside lane goes to Jerry Hale in Miss Exide. Mark Tate will have to come from the outside in close call. Then you have got Pico in lane 4, DeWalt Tools in lane 3, and Truckgear in lane 2. The green flag, and watch Tate go and watch Pico go. Pretty tight around the turn there, and right away Exide falling back.
Mark Tate in the close call chose a really wide line through that turn 1. I don't know if he was trying to avoid rough water or just stay away from the other boats.
Truckgear and Pico in a pretty good race as they come into the backstretch. Pico appears to have just a little bit, perhaps, the best of it, but Nate Brown's keeping the pressure on him.
Both boats charging into the 3-4 corner really hot. Nate Brown hooking just a little bit, but tight to the buoy line at the exit.
Little rough ride there. Pico went a bit wider, and now Evans will show the power he has here. Is DeWalt Tools with Michael Hansen trying to keep up with the leaders. There goes Pico. But there goes Nate Brown. Back and forth, just when you might think that Mark Evans is going to get it done. Nate Brown comes storming back. Once again from Labatt Eye in the sky, Nate Brown holding the inside and holding a little bit of a lead now.
Nate Brown's still out in front, but we've got a battle for third and fourth also.
And there it is between DeWalt Tools closer to you and close call with Mark Tate. A real battle for third place. You would think that close call, based on past performance, would be knocking off DeWalt easily, but no, it's been a tough season. Very tight again. Truckgear pushing Pico out a little bit, and this time a little bit too tight. We understand now the Truckgear is being penalized a lap for pushing the Pico out. So as well as Nate Brown is running, he's not going to have a chance to win this one. And now Mark Evans is stepping it up in the Pico. 138 miles an hour, you see on the Zodiac lap timer, and he'll go around that turn again now and put all the power he's got into that back stretch. Truckgear starts to fall back. He is heard by radio. You've been penalized, so there's probably no point in running any harder.
Well, once the radio guys get a hold of him and give that information, he would back off just a little bit.
So now Michael Hansen is in second place in DeWalt Tools, and Mark Tate apparently will have to settle for third unless there is a major change. Here comes Mark Evans around the last turn. Truckgear is still there, but not now a factor. And Pico American Dream will be the winner of Heat 2A. And here comes that major change. Close call blowing by DeWalt Tools down the final stretch, and Mark Tate indeed will take second place. Michael Hansen will have to settle for third in DeWalt Tools as we look at the checkered flag. What a finish by Mark Tate in close call to grab second place. Pico heads back into the dock, and Truckgear will go around for one more lap. A perfect day as we check the Fruit of the Loom results so far for Pico. And again, Miss Exide at the bottom picks up 254 points. A very happy Mark Evans back at the dock, and a very happy Pico team. This group is on a roll, and we're back with more from Kelowna in just a moment. Welcome back to the Jasper Unlimited Thunder Tour, presented by Las Vegas from Kelowna. Heat 2B of the Molson Dry Thunderfest straight ahead. 3 back-to-back weekends racing can take a toll on drivers, especially when conditions are rough. Just ask Mitch Evans.
It gets tough. I mean, there are no shocks on this thing at all. Every time you strap in and every bump that you take out there, you take with your body, and it does take a toll. When Monday morning rolls around, I'm a little slow getting out of bed some days, but I always look forward to getting back in the boat because it seems each time we run, you know, my body gets a little bit more conditioned and the boat seems to run better.
All right, here's the lineup for Heat 2B. It'll be Budweiser in lane 3 as Mark Webber tries to win his first heat driving the Bud. Looking for the green flag, Mitch Evans in the Appian Jeronimo. Here is the Budweiser right next to him in lane 3. And there's the green flag, Stephen David in the Gargoyles Nitro with a nice start.
Flying start for Stephen David, but Budweiser's right there with him going into the first turn. Budweiser pulls right up alongside the Appian Jeronimo coming off the corner.
On paper, the Budweiser should win this one, but Mark Webber is still getting used to the boat. And it's not as if anybody else in this race is a slouch. Some very good drivers like Mitch Evans here in the Appian Jeronimo, and of course Stephen David in the Gargoyles Nitro.
Mark Webber's got the Budweiser running really tight. He's glued it right down. He's pounding the front sponsons on the boat. He needs to get this boat freed up a little bit to get it to go faster.
Coming from lane 3 and trying to get ahead far enough of Mitch Evans to grab the inside lane. Just a little light there. There's Stephen David in the Gargoyles Nitro. He is in third place behind Appian Jeronimo in second, and the Budweiser up front. A little light also for Stephen. Again, these conditions can be tough even when the wind is not that high.
The water conditions here at Lake Okanagan are really bad in the corners. There's a lot of uncontrolled boat traffic behind the log boom there, which is adding to the problem.
Webber seems to have it now in hand down the back stretch. Stephen David also driving very well, but will have to make a heck of a move even to grab second place. 138 miles an hour, lap speed by Zodiac for Miss Budweiser. Here's Mitch Evans around the turn, trying to make a move on Budweiser. 127 miles an hour for Mitch, the average lap speed. From the Labatt Eye in the sky, now Stephen David trying to make a run at Mitch Evans. Once more around that turn, coming up, let's see how they handle it. Budweiser's already just about through.
Bud really freed the boat up in that corner. What he did is he pulled back on the canard wing to loosen the front of the boat up. The boat ride's a lot better. You notice it's not pounding the sponsons anymore. It's kind of gliding over the top of the water.
Mark Webber now appears to have this heat in hand, but there is going to be a battle for second between Mitch Evans and Stephen David in the Appian Jeronimo and the Gargoyles Nitro. Looking for the checkered flag is Mark Webber. This would be his first win as driver of the Budweiser. Just a gorgeous drive. There it is. Heat number 1 win for Budweiser in Heat 2B. The Appian Jeronimo, Mitch Evans, hangs on and takes second place over Stephen David. And Steve will bring it in for third, then the Molson Dry. So after a third place finish in Heat number 1, the Fruit of the Loom results showing us Miss Budweiser up to a total of 625 points. Let's go down to the dock where Tom will talk with the winner.
Mark, looks like Budweiser School of Driving is in.
Yeah, big 10-4 there, Tommy. Yeah, just gaining on this big old gale. It's mighty fast, but we're going to pick up the pace here. Much as I feel comfortable, we're just going to keep stepping on it. Ronnie and I worked on the ride a little bit. We'll go talk here in a minute and work on a little bit more.
Well, the ride was a little tight the first lap or so, but you loosened it up, it looked much better the third lap.
That's what you call seat time.
Did he say Seattle time and date? Well, the Seattle race will air August 31st, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN2. Nate Brown's crew hard at work changing the skid fins. Let's go down to Tom in the pits and find out what that's all about.
You're changing the skid fin between heats. Give us some reasons.
Yeah, Tom, the first heat I was disqualified for it. I had too small a fin on for this rough water in the course, so rather than get disqualified again or take the risk of getting disqualified, we're going to a little larger fin, and hopefully it'll make the truck gear boat hold in those corners.
Have you had this fin on the boat before?
Oh, yeah. That's the one I raced with all year and did so well. And my number 1 team, Close Call boat, they said, let's borrow that for a while. And they're not using it this weekend, so hopefully and gladfully I got it back.
We'll be back in just a moment with more from beautiful Okanagan Lake in British Columbia. A gorgeous view from above of Kelowna. This is resort country. Everybody taking advantage of the great weather here. As the unlimited lights look more and more like the unlimited hydroplanes, more and more new drivers are coming out of this class and moving up. Most notably, most recently, Mark Webber now driving the Miss Budweiser. So who is next to make the move down the beach to the Unlimiteds? Well, it could very well be this guy, Randy Haas. Randy, you'd like to do it, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course. That's everybody's dream that's running the unlimited class or the unlimited light class right now. And if anybody gets the opportunity, they will go.
Certainly you would.
Oh, yeah, sure would.
Now, who else, because you're very well thought of, who else in this class do you think is a likely candidate?
You got Alan Beauchai. I mean, I think he's very good. Brian Reynolds, which Brian just got qualified this weekend, so I imagine he won't have a problem getting a ride.
What would it take to move up other than the opportunity? What kind of skills do you think?
It takes driving skill and some experience and I guess your past background.
Scary at all?
No, not at all.
And by the way, folks, if he does get the opportunity, Randy's dad, Carl, says he will not stand in the way. Better not try. Unlimited lights are not immune to the elements and the lift factor. George Stratton, driving Wildfire, defies gravity, performs a perfect 360-degree blowover, lands perfectly, and drives the boat back to the pits.
Just got a little bit of air down there at the end of that straightaway. There's quite a breeze blowing. When you turn at the entrance buoy, the wind's coming across the lake real well right there, and I just got it a little loose. It was after the race, and I let off the gas a little too much. I tried to put my foot back in it, drive it back over. Didn't work.
But you drove it back to the dock. It landed right side up. You came back to the dock.
Yeah, it landed right side up, still running.
George did bust the boat up a little bit. He has the inside lane in the Unlimited Light Final. That's still to come.
You ever wonder where future crew chiefs will come from? Well, here's an idea for you. And how about this for a prototype? Needs a sponsor, but that could be one on the fin. We'll be back with more from the Molson Dry Thunderfest from Kelowna, British Columbia.
That's the only reason to watch a sporting event.
Back in the pits here at Kelowna, the Miss Budweiser crew working hard. And the Appian Jeronimo crew fixing the wing. Now we've got 3 of the 5 boats warming up for Heat 3A. DeWalt is one of 2 Indiana-based teams competing. It really has to gear up for this Northwest Tour.
We're out here in the Northwest, where everybody else is basically based out of, so they got their shop they can go back to in between races, where we don't. We ended up working in the pits in Pasco Monday and Tuesday, and, you know, it rained on us, and then it got hot and humid, so it makes it a little bit tough, but this is kind of the Ironman season. You know, we did 3 in a row back east with Madison, Evansville, and then Norfolk again. Doing 3 more out here, so the guys that come out of here that are healthiest got the best chance next weekend in Seattle, so we want to win this thing, be healthy, and go get them next weekend as well.
And the lineup for Heat 3A shows 5 boats, but only 3 are going to start. Let's go to the pits and see what's up.
Molson Dry is supposed to be in this heat. You're not.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, we discovered a cracked wing. It's pretty rough out there. It took out our wing, and we've run with the wing before, but only in qualifying on smooth water. We didn't want to risk what it would do to the boat running without it. Just not enough time to get it changed out, you know, a quick turnaround from a B to an A, so we decided to sit this one out.
Are you going to run the Conti?
Oh, we'll be there for sure, yeah.
The other rookie, Jerry Hale, is also out at least for this heat. Exide's got a busted gearbox, so 3 boats taking the green flag. Pico, American Dream on the inside, then close call with Mark Tate. And Michael Hansen driving DeWalt Tools in lane 3. Close call, qualified faster, but Pico didn't get here until yesterday morning and only ran 145 just to qualify, so that may not be significant. They're mighty close.
They're real close, but the key factor here, I think, is the fact that they've worked on their boat ride. The handling of the Pico American Dream is phenomenal this weekend, getting through that rough water and that slop.
Once again, Mark Evans very tight to the buoys. A rough ride around the turn from Mark Tate, and Pico opens up a lead. DeWalt is still giving close call a run here in lane 3, but Pico is opening it up.
Close call drifted back coming off that corner. They lacked a little bit of acceleration getting onto the main straightaway, and Pico American Dream stretched it out just a little bit more.
Is that a problem with a skid fin, the handling in the turns? What seems to be the difficulty with close call?
Well, it's a combination of the balance of the boat with the prop combination and the skid fin. It looks like the boat's drifting off the corner, so it is sliding a little bit too wide.
Pico American Dream at 140 miles an hour in the Zodiac lap timer. From the eye in the sky, you see Mark Tate making a move on Mark Evans. He is in the rooster tail, blocking our view, that is, as they come around the turn. And again, a little tighter for Tate this time, but Evans right tight to the buoys, and that's really making a difference. 138 miles an hour for close call. That's 2 miles an hour less than Pico had. Tate once again trying to make a move on the straightaway. He's got less than a lap now to catch up with Mark Evans. And DeWalt Tools, another 2 miles an hour down at 136. Michael Hansen driving it. DeWalt's one of a couple of teams that have changed the skid fins. Why couldn't they figure that out during testing?
Well, during testing, the water conditions were a lot smoother when you only have 1 boat on the race course. But now that you've got 3, 4, 5 boats on the race course, the water conditions are different, and they've got to make adjustments during the day.
Mark Evans has got the adjustments all made, it would appear. Pico heading for a 3rd consecutive heat win. Mark Tate is trying to make it close again, walks it a bit around the corner. 141 miles an hour that last lap for Mark Tate. But it's not going to be enough to catch Mark Evans, the winner of Heat 3A. Once again, Pico American Dream. Mark Tate gives him a run, but takes 2nd place. And Michael Hansen will finish last, which in this heat turns out to be 3rd in DeWalt Tools. This is what's called tying one on. As we check the fruit of the loom results, Pico still perfect on the day 1200, and as you see, 2 boats did not start. Tom.
Market quality starting to show. 1 more to go.
I know, I like that quality part, that's for sure. Hey, up 1 more. This is the final. This is going to do it. I feel real good today. Boat's running great, so I think we got her.
Have you figured out on your setup what you're going to do for the final?
I think don't touch it, folks. This is leave her like she is. It's running good right now. Thanks, Tom.
Mark of quality is what it says on the side of the Pico. Don't take off. We still have more racing from Kelowna. Welcome. Welcome back to the Molson Dry Thunderfest from Kelowna. John Mickelson and Tom Deeth, and that's Mark Evans signing autographs. From the Labatt Eye in the Sky, let's take a look at the 3B heat lineup. Miss Budweiser with Mark Webber has got the inside. Nate Brown will try to give him a hard time in truck gear from lane 2. Going for the green flag, and truck gear is very close to Budweiser.
He's pinching him going into the corner. What he's trying to do there is he's trying to tighten up the radius on the Budweiser so it'll scrub off speed, therefore giving Nate Brown an advantage of acceleration off the corner.
Holding it all the way around the turn, and Mitch Evans and Appian Jeronimo also is running very tight to the other two boats in the inside lane. But now Mark Webber gets it going in the Budweiser, and it is truck gear right next to him. Not going to give him an inch just yet. A little light for Nate, a little light.
Whoa, a lot light. He really hooked it on that corner, lost a lot of ground. Budweiser on the inside, a little bit better water conditions, was able to accelerate away. That's the advantage right there.
And that was the break Mark Webber was looking for. Now he has got a pretty solid lead over Nate Brown in second place. And Appian Jeronimo falling back as we complete the first of 3 laps in this heat 3B. From the Labatt Eye in the Sky, you see the lead that Budweiser has. And in 4th place, Steve David in the Gargoyles Nitro.
When a hydroplane jumps like that in the corner and then crashes down, you get blurred vision, and it takes a while to get your composure and get after the throttle again.
Stephen David will try to make a run for 3rd place here in the Gargoyles Nitro. That's the Jim Harvey-owned boat. And here's the boat he's trying to catch. Mitch Evans in the Packet Engines presents Appian Jeronimo, Jerry Rise's boat. But up front, Mark Webber running smooth in Miss Budweiser, looking for a 2nd consecutive heat win. Nate Brown trying to stay within hailing distance in the truck gear.
Nate recovered beautifully from that near incident in the upper turn, regained his composure, and he's got a strong 2nd going.
Mitch Evans in 3rd in the Appian Jeronimo. And from the Labatt Eye in the Sky, look in the inside lane. Stephen David in the Gargoyles Nitro is going to try to give Mitch Evans a run. And what is this with the Budweiser? Now in the back stretch, it's slowed to a near stop. Blowing right by him is truck gear. Plainly, the Budweiser has a serious problem running, and Nate Brown is now running out to a big lead. Budweiser has come now to a dead stop, being passed by everybody. Here comes Nate Brown, looking for the checkered flag in truck gear. And there is Mark Webber, just floating along. Truck gear takes heat 3B. The win for Nate Brown, who hung tough and got a break, literally. Budweiser obviously has broken something. Mitch Evans will take 2nd in the Appian Jeronimo. And Budweiser not able to finish. Can't get it restarted. Fruit of the Loom results, amazingly, truck gear in 1st place. Spirit of Lake Chelan also not able to finish. Let's go down to the dock and hear from the winner of this heat.
1st place, everything's happened today.
Well, you know, Budweiser broke, but I guess anytime he can beat the Budweiser, that's good. So, hey, that helped my teammate. I think they're going to get lane 3 now instead of lane 4. So, get lane 2. Well, that's even better yet, you know. So, I about wore it down there, though I don't know if you guys have it on tape or not, but it came about as high as I've ever gotten a boat before, and it came down. So, someone's on my side this weekend.
Apparently so. Exide hoping someone's on this team's side. Still trying to make the final by way of the provisional. Stay tuned. Back here in British Columbia, Miss Budweiser needs to win the provisional heat to make the final. The team thrashing in the pits, trying to get ready for the heat. Tom is down there.
What happened?
We won that heat. We would have got a 2nd pick in the final, so it could have turned our whole weekend around. But as it may be, the last lap, half a straightaway to go here is all we had to do, and the boat started slowing down. We thought it was a fuel control problem. We just got the boat back here on the trailer and found out that the fuel flow meter that the UHRA has on to monitor our fuel flow in the engine, it blew up and fuel went all over the inside of the engine bay, and obviously the engine shut down, and that was our problem. Mark said it felt like he just ran out of throttle, and basically when the valve blew up and all the fuel went over, we just had no fuel. So I don't know what the UHRA is going to do about this. They actually should rerun that heat. I don't think they're gonna. We're gonna be the provisional boat right now here in the provisional heat, and the best we can do is a trailer for the day. So it's very, very discouraging. We really felt we could get into some money here and get Mark some good seat time and maybe even gather some points, but now we're going to be a long shot for the final.
With the Budweiser crew still thrashing, John Watkins in the U8 Miss Molson Dry already is out on the course for the provisional. Will Budweiser make it? No, the green flag has dropped, and Miss Molson will win a one-boat heat. Miss Bud does not make the final. Well, Molson Dry in a walkover in the provisional heat. And stuff like this is why you need to join the UHRA Winners Circle. You get newsletters, keep up on the latest information, the rule changes, a whole lot more. It's a toll-free call, so make that call. Here, then, is the final lineup. Surely a disappointment for Mark Webber. Pico American Dream with a perfect record going in. Close call, and then Miss Truckgear and the Appian Jeronimo. Miss Molson Dry will trail. What does Mark Webber think about this, Tom?
What happened? Oh, man. When it rains, it pours. That's what happens. UHRA, part of the fuel restriction system, actually a fitting came out and was pouring fuel inside of the boat. We explained that to them. We were ready to change motors, and we found out it was the only part in the boat that wasn't owned by Miss Budweiser. The UHRA said they're going to hold the heat up for us, and then they went ahead and started it anyway. Another couple minutes, and the Miss Budweiser would have maybe had a chance at the final, but going to Seattle and get ready is, you know, we're out.
As they say, that's racing. The Unlimited final is coming up. We are set now for the Unlimited Light Final, Wildfire, where George Stratton gets the inside lane. Miss Leroy with Randy Haas next. The outside will be Dave Bender and PJ's All-Stars. This is a restart of the Unlimited Light Final. Why is it a restart of the Unlimited Light Final? Because here in the first try at it, Bob Larimore, to the right of your screen, gets light and rolls the boat over upside down. Now, this is an open cockpit boat, so this is a very scary situation.
It's an open cockpit boat. It's a reinforced cockpit. He has the 5-point harness, but no air system and no canopy.
He is underwater for up to 4 minutes. The rescue crew gets there, gets him out. We understand he will be okay. And now, here is the restart of the Unlimited Light Final, and George Stratton on the inside in the Wildfire, one of the yellow boats in this race. Bo Scheid in the Alamo, another of the yellow boats with blue trim, trying to move up on him. So far, Stratton holding the inside lane has the lead. In Miss Leroy, Randy Haas, the Unlimited Light driver we talked with earlier, in third place. But here's the battle now. Just ahead, angle-wise, it is Bo Scheid. Wildfire still on the inside and still has the lead. The two yellow boats battling each other along the backstretch.
It's amazing. That's the boat that did the complete 360-degree flip. Landed right side up. The driver drove it back to the pits. The crew worked all night long and got it ready for this race, and they're leading.
You've got to have a lot of guts to drive these boats, and obviously George Stratton does. He still has the lead. Bo Scheid is trying to push him in the Alamo. Bo has got a very powerful boat, and George and Bo both a little light as they head for the turn.
Both these drivers feeling the race course out. We had a 7-boat start, so that really chops up the water. Bo Scheid on the outside is going to keep the momentum up and try and catch Stratton.
These two yellow boats really going at each other as they move again into the backstretch. Third place, Randy Haas hanging on, and Miss Leroy out of Toledo, Ohio. Bo Scheid from this angle now has grabbed the lead over George Stratton. Coming right at you now. Stratton on your right and Bo Scheid to the left.
Stratton kind of squared that corner off, got caught a little bit in the wake of the Alamo rental car with Bo Scheid, but both boats neck and neck again.
Then Randy Haas, and then this boat, Charlie Wiggins, driving the Abbott Villa Special. He is in fourth in the UL 10. Bo Scheid now has got the lead, and what has happened to George Stratton? Miss Leroy is second. Stratton apparently has gone dead in the water. Bo Scheid, looking for the checkered flag, suddenly finds himself all alone in the Alamo. Bo Scheid will take the checkered flag in the UL-16, the Alamo. And then it'll be Randy Haas for second and Miss Leroy, followed by Charlie Wiggins, Abbott Villa Special. There is George Stratton. He survived, had a great deal of luck in the flip over. Now the luck apparently has run out. So the Fruit of the Loom results showing Bo Scheid with his second win in as many weeks. Randy Haas in second and Charlie Wiggins taking third. The victorious Alamo boat heading back to the dock. And heading out the Unlimited Lights. Who will be the winner? We know it won't be Bud. How about Steve David? How about Mark Evans? How about you stay with us? Coverage of the Molson Drive Thunderfest is sponsored by Las Vegas, open 24 hours. By Jasper Engines and Transmissions. And by Labatt Blue. And we are just about ready for the start of the Unlimited Final in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia. Pico American Dream with Mark Evans in the inside. And Miss Molson Drive, the rookie John Watkins, will round out the field, heading for the green flag. Can Mark Evans make it a perfect day? There's your start. It is Evans on the inside, then Close Call, then Truckgear, the two teammates, Mark Tate and Nate Brown from the Labatt Eye in the Sky.
Well, this is going to be the roughest water conditions these guys have faced all day long. We've got a 7-boat field. By the end of the second and third lap, it's really going to get choppy, but Pico's out in front, running strong.
Both Close Call and Truckgear planning to give Pico a run, but so far it looks like Mark Evans, barring some difficulty, is on the way to a clean sweep here in Kelowna. We know a lot can happen in a 5-lap final, however. Strong around the second turn for him.
DeWalt's in second place with Close Call running third, but the key factor here is the boat ride. The Pico boat ride is just perfect this afternoon.
Michael Hansen strong in the beginning, but can he hold on to it, or will he have to give way to Mark Tate and or Nate Brown in the Truckgear? So far, the pride of Madison, Indiana is looking pretty good. But now, looking from the Labatt Eye in the Sky, here comes Nate Brown to give DeWalt Tools a run. Nate's got the inside. This should be a major advantage.
Close Call's back in fourth place, coming up on the inside of Nate Brown. DeWalt Tools on the outside, but Pico American Dream coming off this corner has got everything under control, drifting wide.
The race could very well wind up being for second place, and as Pico runs ahead, is it possible for Truckgear at 135 miles an hour, the Zodiac lap timer last time around, to beat the stronger boat of the team? Close Call?
Well, Nate Brown got the bullet engine. He got one of the better motors from that team, and so he's got more power in the boat this time. He should be able to hold off Close Call.
If my eyes don't deceive me, Nate Brown's boat appears to be losing its high wing there.
It's lost its horizontal stabilizer, and the upright is flopping. That's definitely going to affect the boat ride, and the handling. The balance of the boat for sure is off.
Nate still holding on to second place in spite of the problem. Michael Hansen now in fourth in DeWalt Tools, and here is Mitch Evans flying the Appian Jeronimo in fifth, trying to move up.
Carrying a little bit of air on that right and left spots and getting it very light going into turn one.
Very rough ride around the corner for Mitch Evans and the Appian Jeronimo. And here once again is the battle between the two teammates for second place. Close Call moving up. Michael Hansen and DeWalt Tools trying to catch up. And out of the front, heading toward the checkered flag, Mark Evans and Pico American Dream. Can the wounded Truckgear outrace the Close Call?
Well, it's the fact that the wing is gone affects the ride of the boat and the handling of the boat, but he's accelerating fine right now.
Close Call. Truckgear from this angle, ahead. From this angle, Close Call. No, once again, Truckgear. Oh, what a race for second place.
Mark Evans Beautiful ride on that boat. Pico American Dream coming off that far turn.
Down the backstretch, the wounded truckgear with the lead to the left of your screen. And close call with Mark Tate trying to catch his teammate. He's got the inside. It doesn't look like anyone's going to catch Mark Evans, but what about this battle for second place? Close call. Moving it. One last time around the turn. Pico American Dream heading for a sweep here in Kelowna. Mark Tate in close call trying to get by truckgear. Here's Pico taking the checkered flag. And now here is Mark Tate finally moving past Nate Brown for second. What a race Nate Brown gave his teammate Mark Tate. Truckgear will take third. Look at the entire structure down in the back. Appian Jeronimo. Here's Molson Dry completing the race, and so it is over.